Here we have two of the sharpest players in the world, and young to boot, Alexei Shirov against Judith Polgar. This game was played in 1994. At the time, Shirov was rated 2740, and Judith Polgar was rated 2630. She was very young, teenager at that time. And it is a Taimanov variation, which is one of Polgar's preferences here. And white has just played Queen f3 on the 10th move. And Polgar now initiates a move that breaks up white's pawns completely, gaining access to the e5 square for her knights. It's a spectacular and wonderful move, which leads to a spectacular and wonderful example of attacking with pawns to keep your opponent's king in the center. F takes g5 was played, knight e5 naturally. Now that knight is going to be beautifully perched on e5, queen g2, and the familiar pawn thrust b4 follows, driving the knight from its comfort on c3 and control of the center, knight to e2, and now Polgar follows with yet another surprising move, h5, giving up a second pawn. This is really something unexpected. G takes h5, and now knight f5, double exclamation mark follows. You can't take the knight because the queen is on the diagonal, and at the same time you're attacking the bishop on e3. Polgar has effectively sacrificed two pawns to get a dangerous initiative in this position. And now bishop f2 was played. And Polgar finds queen takes g5, a beautiful, beautiful move, with the idea that if queen takes g5, knight f3 check, king d1, knight takes g5, and the pawn on e4 is still pinned and double attacked, which means that black is going to recover all of her sacrificed material with an attack to continue. So, after queen takes g5, what could Shirov do? He tries knight a5. And Polgar now finds a move which takes this game into another world, knight e3. That's the position you'll see on the cover of this DVD, with the idea of the two-knight mate. Unbelievable, because if queen takes g5, knight f3 is a double knight mate. Very rare and very beautiful. Hence, Shirov plays, after knight e3, queen to g3, simply succumbing to queen takes g3, knight takes g3, knight takes c2 check, king d1, knight takes a1, and now Polgar is up a rook, and at this point in exchange, and she's able to salvage her knight with b3, a takes b3, knight takes b3, and in a few moves she won the game after king c2, knight c5, knight takes c5, d takes c5, bishop e1, knight f3, bishop c3, knight d4 check, king d3, bishop d6, and we see all along that white does not have enough for the exchange here. Black's pawns count, and white's pawns are a little weak, as well as his king. Bishop g2, bishop e5, king c4, king e7, rook a1, knight c6, when Shirov indeed resigned.